Your boss just sent you a Slack message at 9 p.m. asking you to finish that report. You're in pajamas, laptop closed, and here's what most people don't know. In most cases, you can just say no. Ever wonder why your boss can't actually force you to work after hours, even if they threaten you? Today I'll explain why your boss can't legally force you to work off the clock, like you're 5. By the end, you'll understand exactly what counts as work time. You'll know the one law that protects you even if you're salaried, and the costly mistake your boss is probably making right now. Quick note, this is workplace education, not legal advice. Laws vary by state and job type, so check your local rules or talk to an employment attorney if you're dealing with something specific. Here's the thing most people get backwards about your work time. Your boss doesn't own your time. They rent it for specific hours. Think of it like a car rental from Hertz for the day. Hertz rents you a car from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and at 5:01, you return it. They don't get to call you at 8 p.m. demanding an extra errand. Your job works the same way. You agreed to work certain hours, and outside those hours, your time is yours. But here's where it gets interesting, and where your boss might be breaking the law without realizing it. There's a federal law called the Fair Labor Standards Act. Everyone just calls it the FLSA, and it matters. It's been around since 1938, and it says something simple. If you're a non-exempt employee, your employer has to pay you for every single hour you work. That means you get paid by the hour, or you're eligible for overtime. That includes reading work emails at 10 p.m. at night. That includes responding to Sunday Slack messages. That includes taking work calls during your lunch break. All of it counts as work time under federal law. Your boss might send messages after hours like it's nothing. Can you look at this real quick? Just need a fast answer. This'll only take 5 minutes. But here's what they're actually doing. Asking you to work off the clock, which is illegal. It's like Starbucks making you clean for 20 minutes after clocking out. Same thing here. 5 minutes or 5 hours, doesn't matter. If they're asking you to work, they have to pay you. Period. Now, before I show you the consequences when your boss ignores this rule, and trust me, they're way bigger than most managers realize, you need to understand the one exception that trips everyone up. There's a whole category of workers this law doesn't protect the same way, and your boss might be betting you think you're one of them. Here's the exception: salaried exempt employees. If you're salaried and meet certain rules, basically you're a manager, you make decisions, you earn above a certain amount, then yeah, your employer can ask you to work after hours without extra pay. That's baked into the deal. You're not paid by the hour. You're paid to get the job done, however long it takes. Think of it like hiring a contractor to paint your house. You don't pay them hourly, you pay them to finish. If it takes extra time, that's on them. But here's the part most people never figure out, and it's the key to everything. Most people who think they're exempt actually aren't. Your job title doesn't matter. Your boss can call you assistant manager or lead coordinator or whatever sounds important. The law doesn't care about titles. It cares about what you actually do every day. Do you supervise at least 2 full-time employees? Do you have real authority to hire, fire, or change schedules? Do you make more than about $44,000 a year? If the answer to any of those is no, you're probably non-exempt. Which means every email you answer at 9 p.m., every Saturday call, every quick favor after hours, you're supposed to get paid for all of it. Let's say your boss has been doing this for months, texting at night, calling on weekends, asking you to just check something on your day off. You've been doing it because you're worried about getting fired. But here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. Your boss is racking up a bill. Every unpaid minute is a violation. And if you ever decide to do something about it, the law is shockingly on your side. Here's what catches most people off guard. You can file a complaint with the Department of Labor. It's free. They investigate. If they find your employer violated the FLSA, your boss has to pay you back wages. But it gets better. In a lot of cases, they also have to pay you double. It's called liquidated damages, basically a penalty for breaking the rules. So if your employer owes you $2,000 in unpaid overtime, you might walk away with $4,000. And your employer can't fire you for filing the complaint. That's retaliation, and it's illegal too. Now, here's where this gets even more expensive for companies. You're not the only one this is happening to. If your boss is doing this to you, they're probably doing it to everyone on your team. Maybe your whole department. And when one person figures it out, the floodgates open. There's something called a class action lawsuit. A bunch of employees band together and sue the company all at once. One case, hundreds or thousands of workers. Some of these settlements reach millions of dollars. Target, Walmart, Bank of America, huge companies have paid massive settlements because they asked employees to work off the clock. All because a manager thought a quick email didn't count as work. But let's get practical, because you're watching this because your boss is texting you at night and you want it to stop. You don't want to file complaints or start lawsuits. You just want your evenings back. So what do you actually do? First, document everything. Screenshot every message, every call, every request. Write down how long it took. Keep a log. Don't trust your memory. If this ever goes somewhere, you need proof. No proof? You're just telling a story. With proof, you've got a case. Second, respond during work hours only. Your boss texts you at 10 p.m., you see it at 9 a.m. the next day. If they push back, say something like, "I keep work and personal time separate to stay focused during the day." You're not being rude. You're setting a boundary. Most managers back off once they realize you're serious. But if they don't, that documentation becomes gold. Here's what surprises people about all of this. A lot of this happens because your boss genuinely doesn't know the rules. They think salary means always available. They think quick question doesn't count as work. Nobody ever told them otherwise. But ignorance isn't a defense. The law doesn't care if your boss meant well. It cares whether they paid you for your time. Now let's talk about the one situation where you might actually have to respond after hours. And even then, there are limits. Some jobs have on-call requirements. Doctors, IT staff, emergency responders. If being on call is part of your actual job description and you agreed to it when hired, then yeah, you might need to be available. But even then, if you're non-exempt, those on-call hours usually count as work time. You might not get paid full rate just for being on call. But if you actually have to do something, that's work. That gets paid. Your employer can't say, "You're on call for free." Even if you're checking work email voluntarily, your employer can still be on the hook. Let's say nobody asked you to check email at 10 p.m. You just did it out of habit or anxiety. If your boss knows you're doing it and doesn't stop you, that counts as allowing you to work. They have a legal duty to prevent you from working off the clock, even if you're doing it on your own. It's like if you started mopping the Starbucks floor after your shift without being asked. If your manager sees you doing it and doesn't tell you to stop, they're allowing unpaid work. Same with your emails. If they know you're working nights and weekends and they're not telling you to stop, they're still liable for those hours. So here's what you need to remember going forward. Every work message after hours counts as work time, and non-exempt employees must be paid for it. The FLSA protects you, and most people are misclassified as exempt when they're actually not. Your boss can face double damages for violations, and they can't retaliate against you for asserting your rights. Document everything, respond only during work hours, and know that setting boundaries isn't rude, it's legal. The second you start treating your off hours like they actually matter, everything shifts. You stop being the person who always says yes. You become the person with boundaries. And people respect that, even your boss, because deep down, they know they're asking too much. Drop a comment and be specific. What's the wildest after-hours request your boss ever made? And did you do it? I read every single one, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now.